In this video, we'll talk about electrical conduction system of the heart. But before we start, we'll talk about the cardiac cells or the heart cells. So in our heart, we have two kinds of cells. One, we have cardiac myocytes, which can be called the chief cells, which are primarily involved in the contractile function of the heart that enables the pumping of the blood around our body. They are elongated cylindrical cells. They are striated, they have contractile proteins, they mostly have a single nucleus, that is, they are mononucleated, and they are connected to each other via the intercalated discs. Second, we have pacemaker cells. Let's just say that they control the cardiac contractions or the heartbeats. That is, these cells, they create rhythmic impulses for cardiac contractions. So these pacemaker cells together make up the conduction system. Now we'll talk about the components of our conduction system. They are the sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, bundle of His, and the Purkinje fibers. So when we say the conduction system, what we are talking about is the electrical conduction system of the heart that transmits signal generated usually by the sinoatrial node across the entire heart. So the sinoatrial node. The sinoatrial node is also called the natural pacemaker, and the rhythm it creates is called the sinus rhythm. So this is the sinoatrial node. It is located in the right atrium to the entrance of the superior vena cava. It discharges around 100 impulses per minute, and this rate is controlled by the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve fibers via the ANS. So how does these impulses travel along the cardiac myocytes is that the cardiac myocytes, they have gap junctions in between them. These will help the impulses to pass on to the adjacent cells. Next, we have the AV node. The AV node discharges about 40 to 60 impulses per minute. The SA node is called the primary pacemaker, while this can be called the secondary pacemaker. So, say for example, if the SA node does not function properly, or if it is not able to create the impulses we require, then AV node will act as the ectopic pacemaker, hence producing the impulses for the cardiac contractions. So further down you have the bundle of His, which has left and right bundle branches which further give rise to fibers, and these fibers are known as Purkinje fibers. So this totally produces approximately around 30 to 40 beats per minute or impulses per minute. So if in case your SA node or AV node fails to function as the main pacemaker cells, then you will have these which will function as the primary pacemaker cells. So how does an impulse propagate through the heart is that first you will have the conduction of your sinoatrial node. That is, the sinoatrial node will produce an impulse which will generate nerve impulses that will travel throughout the atrias, the heart walls of the atrias. This will cause both the atrias to contract. Further, it will pass the impulse to the atrioventricular node. The atrioventricular node will then pass the impulse to the bundle of His, which will travel along the bundle branches to the Purkinje fibers, finally passing it on to the left and the right ventricles, causing the ventricles to contract and then sending the blood along the pulmonary artery and the aorta. So this is all about the conduction system of the heart. In our next video, we'll talk about the cardiac action potential.